What's up, guys? It's the Lazy Gold Maker. Today we're going to cover my favorite gold making method of all time and what I've always considered to be the best way to get to learning the auction house. If you want to learn how to play the auction house and make gold by just sitting in town, then this is for you. So I'm obviously talking about material flipping. I've talked about this before. I've made videos on the topic back in Classic, back in TBC, back in Wrath, back in Cataclysm. Well, we're on fresh Classic servers, and what do you know? It still works. So this is sort of what I'm going into with my level 5 flipping build. This is what I'm going to do. And what we can see here, we have some sales. So the reason why I like this so much is because the only real way to learn the auction house in terms of pricing, how items sell, stuff like that, is by being on the auction house, trying to sell stuff, trying to buy stuff, and seeing what works and what doesn't, essentially. And why I like material flipping is because there's a lot of different materials. Some of them are cheap, some of them sell quickly, some don't, which means that you don't need that much gold to get started. You can make mistakes and they aren't going to cost you that much if you just buy the right items. And you're very unlikely to not find anything that makes you a profit because there are so many different materials. So those are the basics. Why this works is because prices in World of Warcraft, they fluctuate. On a daily, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, prices change. Part of this is because you can only post stuff for 24 hours on Classic servers. So within 24 hours, every auction that was in the auction house is gone and has been replaced by a new one. That's one part of it. The other part is obviously that people buy and sell at different times of day. So maybe someone comes along, some big time farmer comes and posts like 200, 300, 400, 500 of something on the auction house. That's going to clog up space and it's going to take a long time for those to sell, which means that the price is going to stay at that exact point for longer. And then someone comes with another 100 and drive the price down. And then maybe some big time crafter comes along and buys it all because they're crafting huge amounts of potions to sell on the auction house. And this causes fluctuations in price. It's also caused by raiding nights. So like on raiding nights, people buy a lot more consumables. So consumables prices often go up a bit. Stuff like that. This happens all the time. It's happened consistently in WoW since forever. On top of that, you can utilize stack sizing. So we can see here with Sungrass, for instance, there's loads of really weird stack sizes. So if someone's looking to actually craft like large quantities of something with Sungrass, then they would prefer to buy larger stacks to save time. So if I could find something here at like 15.5 with like 10 stacks of 20, I might buy that just to save time, assuming I can still make a profit. So all of this is what we're trying to take advantage of by buying when materials are lower than their real value and selling at their real value or higher than that, depending on. Personally, I like to sell the items for the normal price roughly. So my mantra is buy low, sell normal. So you're looking to buy materials when they're cheap and just sell them for the normal price. And you can do this very consistently with a lot of different materials in WoW. It's very interesting. So to find out what the price is, I personally prefer to use the TradeSkillMaster price source. So when you hover over an item, it'll show you the market value in the tooltip. This is what I base my decisions on. Based on my experience in testing, I see that you can very often find a lot of different materials for 70 to 80% of the market value. And prices will often fluctuate as high as 120, 130, 140% of the market value. So I like to buy up to 80% of the market value, and then I sell at about 100%. So we can take a quick look at my current operation, my flipping operations. They all have the same pricing. We can see that my minimum price is the market value, and my normal price is just 5% over market value. So if no one else is competing with me, then I post it at a little bit of a premium. I also only consider other auctions of the exact same stack size when I'm posting, which is this one right here, which is important for large stack sizes. If there aren't any 20 stacks cheap, then I'm gonna post at a slightly higher price because people are going to be willing to pay a little bit of a premium to save time. So that's the basics. Now I have a group that I use, you'll just be using this large flipping group, which is going to be linked in the video description. And then you choose an item type and go to town. So you would go to the browse panel here, look through. I like to do like one item group at a time, so I'll do dust, and we'll see what shows up. This percentage column is compared to the maximum price, so my maximum price is 80% of the market value, so anything that shows up with less than 100% here is cheaper than the price I'm willing to buy it on. And obviously you do need to expand the list and do a quick look and see if there's we can see here that there's a massive amount of volume. There's hundreds and hundreds of dream dust at 80% of market value. So that might mean the price is trending downwards. So I probably wouldn't buy this because this looks a little bit too risky, particularly since I don't have much gold here. But that's the basic idea. My favorite ones to flip are the enchanting materials and herbs. And the ones I would suggest looking into first. Generally speaking, herbs have really low vendor sell prices, which in turn means that they have really low deposit costs. So you aren't going to lose your profit if an auction doesn't sell, because the deposit cost is based on the vendor sell price, and if an auction doesn't sell, then you don't get your deposit back and you're going to lose some gold. So you want to avoid that as much as you can, which is why I like herbs. Herbs also have really high demand. At least if you're doing the right herbs, they're used in a lot of different recipes that people absolutely guzzle down on a regular raid night. For enchanting materials, there's no deposit cost, which is really good. And that's sort of the main advantage of going into enchanting materials. So this is what I'd be doing. I'd be looking to just do a shopping scan like this. Then we start at the top. Fade leaf, I know this is a good herb. It's used in some invisibility potions. You can see here there was a lot available. This is sort of risky, but this is also a very low price. If I had more gold, I would definitely buy all of this. Since I only have 5 gold, I want to take less risk. So I want to sell something where it's going to be faster turnaround time. Swift Thistle, this is also very tempting to buy out. But I'm going to look at some of the others as well. In particular, I'm interested in the Fire Bloom because this sold really quickly the last time. Okay, there's a lot of gold to spend there as well. If I had 100 gold, I would buy out all of these auctions, by the way. Just saying. I have to be a little bit more discerning since I don't have that much gold in this challenge, in this character. But yeah, we might buy some of the Fade Leaf. But if you have the gold, then I would pretty much brainlessly buy everything up to 100%. That can work really well. I think I'm going to prioritize some of the Swift Thistle here. It's probably too late. But then you buy, go collect it, and post it back to the auction house. That's essentially the cycle. And as we can see, I collected 5 gold this session from Vision Dust. We do have some other materials as well, and I've made some decent profits so far. You can also check your profits here, resale profits. Now we need to add some total profit column. Boom. So you can see here, I've already made 1 gold, 36 silver from Fade Leaf. I've made 83 silver from Vision Dust. I've made 37 silver from Fire Bloom. I made some losses on Elemental Air because I ended up vendoring them. And everything else has been nice and profitable. Now, I'm going to tell you about 2 pitfalls that you want to avoid really religiously. Number 1 is the mistake I did with the Elemental Air. The vendor sell price for Elemental Air is 4 silver. When I bought this, the market value was about 4 silver. And I realized that if I posted it and I got the single expiration, then I would lose gold. So I just decided to take the 26 copper loss and just vendor them. We can see it might have been a stupid mistake because now the market value is 15 silver, but whatever. It was a 5 silver loss, which I was preferred to take over sitting on the items because I needed the gold. So it can happen. Just pay attention, check the vendor sell price. If the price on the auction house is less than 5 times the vendor sell price, then you want to be careful, because if you have to post it multiple times, then that's going to eat into your profits quite significantly. The other thing you need to be aware of is items that are actually collapsing in price. So if you go to the results page here, we have the fade leaf site. This could be that there's just, for whatever reason, loads of cheap fade leaf right now. Or this could mean that the price of fade leaf is trending downwards and the market value is going to be lower. Generally speaking, Classic is sort of figured out. There aren't going to be that many like the demand drops off type of events, but they do happen. One example is going to be like fire protection potion consumable materials when we head into Encourage, because then they're just not that useful anymore. So that's something you need to be aware of and sort of like have a consideration. But ultimately, you'll have to learn the hard way at some point. I don't think you should be afraid, because on the other side, like taking advantage of huge opportunities where there's a lot of volume below your maximum price, is also very important to maximize your profits. So I don't think you should necessarily be afraid, but you should be aware that you will inevitably run into making some mistakes and losing some gold in some cases. But on average, you should be very profitable doing this. So that's it. Grab the TradeSkillMaster settings in the video description and go to work.